Everyone, so we are the Group 7 and we're about to discuss the topic of Hidden Lessons of History, the Banwaon of San Luis Agusan del Sur, entry of logging operations, the corruption of Banwaon leaders, indigenous notions of development, and heading lessons maintaining independence. To further discuss this topic, may I request the first reporter?
So, good afternoon everyone. My topic is all about hidden lessons of history, the Banwaon of San Luis Agusan del Sur. So, what would make 1,000 indigenous men, women, and children evacuate their homes and farms in the hinterlands to camp out at an abandoned hospital at the center of town, leaving their farm animals and means of livelihood? So, in an attempt to flush out suspected rebels, sympathizers, soldiers, and their paramilitary guides swooped down on the hinterland communities of the Banwaon in San Luis Agusan del Sur in the last quarter of November 2014. So, supposedly as part of the militarist community organizing for peace and development. Subsequent solidarity mission documented 93 cases of human rights violations that include indiscriminate firing, restriction of movement, gun touting, destruction and divestment of properties, use of public facilities for military purposes, use of civilians as guides for human shields, fake surrenders, threats, harassments, and intimidation during this period that caused the Banwaons to evacuate. So on January 23, 2015, 174 Banwaon families went on a massive exodus from their ancestral lands to the village center of Balit. They came from 14 sitios from our barangays of the municipality of San Luis. The evacuation conditions caused the deaths of 3 children and the spread of various illness that afflicted hundreds of women, the elderly, and children in the evacuation center. After months of encamping in their evacuation center, where scores have died and gotten sick, the Banwaon Bakwits of Balit, San Luis Agusan del Sur were able to return home only on March 18, 2015, as a military officials promised to pull out from civilian facilities and cease camping near populated areas. So this after the display of the tribe's unity and the support of church, civil society, organizations, and progressive groups regarding their plight. It can be interpreted the Bakwit in this instance can also be a political act that collective unity and wide external support group that the larger Banwaon group enjoyed.
The passage describes 2 contrasting visits to the Banwaon community in Balit. The first visit in March 2015 was part of a vibrant international solidarity mission, while the second visit months later was marked by a quiet, secretive atmosphere, indicating heightened security concerns. During second visit, the author interviewed Julito Utakan, foreshadowing the tragic killings of organization members that followed. The Banwaon, recognized as a distinct tribe from the Higaonon since 1846, face significant threats to their identity and safety, highlighting the rapid deterioration of their situation from open activism to vulnerability and violence. Starting in 1957, logging operations began encroaching on Banwaon territory, leading to significant deforestation that threatened their way of life. The Banwaon resisted these incursions, particularly in the communities of Manluwig and Mangadol, resulting in violent conflicts with logging companies and military forces. This resistance created lasting negative memories and deep-seated distrust toward the government and outsiders, shaping their collective experience and ongoing challenges in external interaction. The Banwaon's autonomy was most challenged by logging operations starting in 1957, which decimated their forests and led to violent conflict with logging companies and the military. Resistance by Banwaon communities, particularly in Manluwig and Mangadol, resulted in lasting negative memories of government and outsider interaction. 23 Banwaon were killed in single day by Higaonon CHDF members of working for a logging company. Militarization and logging pressures forced some community members to work for the company, while others resisted, leading to ambushes. The logging operations drastically altered Banwaon life, shifting from communal and ownership to a system of individual, with loyalty payments, a concept alien to their previous way of life. The logging boom led Banwaon men to work for logging companies for wages, resulting in closer proximity to government centers. When the logging ended, the Banwaon were left without income and forced to return to their traditional ways, but the experience left a lasting negative impact. Before colonization, the Banwaon thrived with a sustainable, self-sufficient lifestyle governed by a dato, successfully resisting significant Spanish influence due to their strong territorial defense.
2015 evacuation was not the first time that Banwaon left their communities because of militarization. They have done this before in 2007 when the communities of Tabon-Tabon, Nakadayas, and Kimambukagyang, also of Sanoist, left their communities because of their terror tactics undertaken by Mario Napungahan. So, who is Mario Napungahan? Mario Napungahan is a Banwaon dato who was filled for an ancestral domain claim covering the entire San Luis municipality. Local sources reveal that Napungahan was once considered a respected and senior community leader until he violated the tribe's enshrined standards of leadership. Among these betrayals include conniving with the military in their counter-insurgency operation and appropriating the thousands of hectares of the Banwaons. As early as 2001, there have been reports detailing the abuses of this paramilitary group who represent the same business interest bannered under counterinsurgency. They have burned school and forced the young Banwaon to be recruited into Kakbo. The motive for the December 2015 banquet was that they were forcing the entire community to be part of the CADT that the Napunghawans were pushing. And behind the Napungahans claim, backed up by the Oplands Bayanihan and COPDs, are the mining exploitation of three companies who want to enter Banwaon. So these three companies are Tambuli Mining Corporation, Makilala Mining Corporation, and Metro Luxury Mining Corporation. As consequence, the Banwaon community is now divided into opposing camps. The Napanguhan paramilitary group, who push for and protect existing mining and logging interests in the area. Second one is the far larger group of traditional leaders such as Pauline Anges Precesio Sr. belong to the Tagdumahan, a grassroots organization of the Banwaon opposed to the entry of mining and logging into their ancestral domain.
Indigenous notions of development in the Banwaon community. The Banwaon community values collective land ownership and has historically resisted the intrusion of logging and mining companies led by Dato Saling'unga. Their challenges intensified when Mario Napungahan sought an ancestral domain claim, presenting himself as the tribe's supreme Dato. Land titling concern. The community views the individual land titling process as alien and potentially oppressive, fearing it would invite outsiders into their territory. Without titles, the government may treat their ancestral lands as public, undermining their rights. Suspicion of government processes. The community is wary of government-sponsored processes like the CEDT due to past exploitation attempts by figures like Mario Napungahan. Cultural practices. Banwaon families traditionally cultivate small plots of subsistence, prioritizing communal sharing over individual ownership. Titled land could lead to privatization and loss of communal ties. Resistance to modernization. Bae Emil, a traditional leader, expressed that the community prefers their way of life over modern conveniences, rejecting the notion of fast food chains in exchange for development. Environmental concerns. There are fears that mining and logging will devastate the environment and culture. The community relies on their natural resources for sustenance and communal sharing, and they worry that external exploitation will lead to cultural extension. The Banwaon community emphasizes the importance of maintaining their traditional way of life and protecting their ancestral lands by external pressures and exploitative practices. Heeding lessons, maintaining independence. The Banwaon community's firm opposition to mining is rooted in painful lessons from past experience with logging, which lead to environmental destruction and social corruption. Many members sacrificed their lives defending their territory against paramilitary groups. Historical lessons. The Banwaon learned from the negative impacts of logging, which not only harmed their land but also fractured their community. They do not wish to isolate themselves but prioritize cultural and economic independence. Skepticism towards development. Their experiences with logging companies have shown that promised benefits rarely materialize. The Banwaon believes that mining would lead to similar, if not worse, consequences. Preservation of identity. The community is determined to protect their ancestral lands to preserve their identity and indigenous ways of life. They see their current struggle for autonomy as vital for their survival and the future of their children. Return to core values. There is a resurgence of appreciation of communal goals over individual interests and a renewed commitment to environmental stewardship. Their resistance to paramilitary intimidation reflects this belief. Community solidarity. The organized evacuation in 2015 demonstrated their unity against external threats. Hulito Otakan emphasized that the Banwaon have recognized their ability to thrive independently. We can survive without you. Overall, the Banwaon communities stands today as a testament to their resilience and commitment to safeguarding their culture and environment for external exploitation.